Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
That's what I'm talking about. All of our guests today on this Tuesday, including Ross Tucker standing by, brought to you by the Waddling Dog Pub, one of Victoria's favorite local pubs, located 10 minutes from the ferry. Two-time #1 pub in Victoria invites you to see why they are a go-to watering hole. The Waddling Dog Pub is the best place for all of your Canucks and NHL and NFL action with extended hours so you don't have to miss any of the action. Come sit and stay at the Waddling Dog. What a great it was super wild card weekend. It lived up to its name. We talked about it yesterday. We're joined now to talk football from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Westwood One and CBS Sports. Ross Tucker, how are you, sir?
Awesome, fellas. What's up? How are you guys doing?
Good. Really well. So is Dak Prescott as the Cowboys handle the Cowboys handle the Buccaneers 31-14. Was that Dak Prescott's best performance as an NFL quarterback?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know that I'd go that far. He's had some really, really good games. Mm-hmm. Off the top of my head, it feels like his best playoff game ever. And what's so interesting about it is first two drives were bad. I think both teams went 3 and out on each of their first two drives. I think I saw a stat. The first 12 plays combined, the teams had -2 yards. So it was ugly. And then after that, Dak was like flawless. I think he scored touchdowns on 4 consecutive drives. I will say this. I think Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, deserves a ton of credit. There were some wide open dudes on some of those throws, but Dak did it on the move. He did it from the pocket, did it with his legs. I'm happy for him. You know, obviously he gets a lot of flack being the Cowboys quarterback and not having postseason success, but he was locked in and played very, very well. Cowboys look like a dangerous team.
They do, except for this. And as the game went on, it became one-sided. The most interesting part of the game was what Brett Maher, who's a former CFL kicker, what he was going through. 4 straight missed extra points, or as I call them, Ross, and I know you love this, converts. Did you feel for him?
Converts. I love the converts. That's amazing. Is that a thing, Rick? Do other people say converts? Or is that
yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Converts.
It's a CFL.
That is amazing.
Use it. Impress your friends.
Yeah, I don't know that would. I can try, but I don't know they'd be real impressed. You know what's so funny? I said this on Twitter last night, at Ross Tucker NFL. And then I was talking about it this morning on the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, and I've gotten so many replies. Oh, yeah, dude, he makes millions of dollars kicking a football. I don't feel bad for him. Oh, yeah, he needs a sympathy tour. I don't care for his family. That's his job, man. Like, nothing is funnier to me than internet tough guys, right?
Oh,
like, I'm not asking to have any sympathy for him. All I'm saying is the reality of the fact is I don't care how successful he is or isn't or how much money he has or doesn't. If you're a family member of Brett Maher and you're watching that game, either in person or on television, you are dying inside.
Yeah, of course.
You love him. He's your husband or your brother or whatever, your son. And you're seeing him very publicly in front of millions of people missing extra point after extra point after convert after convert. And you know that that's what people are going to think about for a long time, maybe forever when they hear that name. I'm serious. I mean, he had that kind of a night. It's a playoff game, standalone game, Monday night. He missed the first 4. Thank goodness for Brett, and I really mean this, that they won the game, right? Yeah. Can you imagine if they lost by a point or 2? Mm-hmm. He would never, ever, 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 ever live that down. Yeah. At least they won, and it doesn't appear as if he's losing his job quite yet. But that still had to be so painful because, it's bad for the player, right? But you at least can focus and try to do something about it. As a family member, there's nothing anybody that has kids, it's like,
of course.
certain situations, there's nothing you can do. And the pain of a child is more than the individual pain. It's more than what the individual's feeling because you feel so much for them.
Ross, Tom Brady's 45 years old. What's your gut saying? He comes back or he calls it quits?
Gut tells me he plays again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, last year there were a lot of whispers and rumors that he was going to be done. And he was for a little bit until he wasn't. This year, haven't heard a lot about him being done. Feels like it's been a lot more about him wanting to continue to play. And I think he wants to maybe try a different team. I kind of think he wants to try to leverage playing another year into something. I don't know if that's ownership of a team or whatever. I don't even know how the NFL would work that with the salary cap, but I still think that the Raiders are a very, very real possibility for Tom Brady. I think Mark Davis would, to be honest with you, just think it's cool that Tom Brady's his quarterback. Mark Davis is like, oh, I got Tom Brady, like you're collecting football cards or something. And Josh McDaniels has a relationship with Brady where he feels like Brady could still play at a high level for him.
Ross, look ahead for me, the Bengals and the Bills. This is a big one for me. Josh Allen, 3 turnovers last week. That can't happen again, but give us your preview of that game.
Right. Well, so how about my weekend, by the way, fellas? I'll be doing the Giants-Eagles in the booth Saturday night.
Nice.
Then I'll drive like halfway to Buffalo about Saturday night after the game. Get there, I don't know, 3 a.m., whatever. Drive the rest in the morning because I'm on sideline for the Bills and the Bengals up in my old stomping grounds in Buffalo. So
nice.
Really looking forward to it. Should be awesome. The turnover thing, Rick, is a huge concern.
Yep.
It's not a predictive statistic, right? Like Josh Allen might have 0 turnovers against the Bengals and maybe the Bills throttle them. I don't know. But what I do know is to win the whole thing, the Bills have to win 3 more games, right? Seems logical to me that in at least one of those 3 games that Josh Allen has a couple turnovers because that's been his penchant this year. And they're probably going to lose that game. I mean, they almost lost to the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson as their quarterback. If they do that to whoever it is, the Bengals, Chiefs, or like the Eagles or Cowboys or Niners, I think they probably lose the game.
Getting a scare like that, like the Bills got from Miami, does that help a team, Ross?
I don't know. It's a good question. I think it helps them typically to play better the next week. And I don't think they're going to get a strip sack for a touchdown this week, Donnie. But I think what helps them more is that the Bengals are so beat up on the offensive line, which gives them a really good chance to get after them. I don't know. I've always kind of wondered that myself, if that helps or not. I'm not so sure it does. You could go the other way, right? Where it kind of shakes up their confidence a little bit. Like, man, we barely beat the Dolphins, as opposed to being a wake-up call. I mean, it's the playoffs. They should already be up.
Members of the old Houston Oilers from 1993 might be able to answer this question. But how does a team, in this case the Chargers, blow a 27-point lead in the playoffs?
One play at a time. And honestly, it like after the muffed punt where they didn't get a touchdown, they had the ball at the 6, that's when you started to go, And when the Jaguars got that touchdown at the end of the first half, that's always how it starts. It always starts with just getting that one score, just getting that first score at the end of the first half, but just honestly embarrassing. They couldn't score more than 3 points in the second half, and they couldn't get a stop, not a single stop by the defense. In fact, they actually got one, but Joey Bosa lined up off sides. They would have held him to a field goal, which would have been significant at that portion. It really is. Momentum is really a wild thing. It really is to watch it unfold like that. That's also on some level painful.
we're going to have Ian Furness from KGR Sports Radio on tomorrow in Seattle. We'll ask him about the Seahawks. But how would you describe the Seahawks season?
Very pleasantly surprising.
Yeah.
Very encouraging. Because I'd tell you guys, I was probably one of those that thought when, Russell Wilson was traded that this is the beginning of the end for the Seahawks for a while. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They got like an absentee owner who's just letting Pete Carroll and John Schneider do whatever they want, when those guys should probably have been let go before of Russell Wilson. They're going to be a disaster. Honestly, guys, even Seahawks fans thought they were going to be a disaster this year. Mm-hmm. Seahawks fans were emailing me and tweeting me, it's a get-right year, dude. Like, we're just going to be really bad, draft our quarterback, and then get back on track. As if it's that easy. As if it's just be bad, get the next franchise quarterback for 10 years, then be good again. It's not that easy. The Seahawks did it a totally different way than anybody was anticipating. Kudos to them. Pete Carroll, John Schneider, very, very impressed. They even had the lead on Saturday against the Niners at halftime, which is incredible.
Yeah, and now they get to draft 5th overall. My front page story, Ross.
Well, listen, it's less than a month until Valentine's Day. I try to be a good gift giver, but I don't really have great ideas. MyFrontPageStory.com is my best and your best and the best idea ever. The key to it is that it's something that they will hang in their house. It's a picture with a front page story written all about them and how much you love your loved ones. But then the key is to have it hanging in the house forever. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. I'm telling you, I got forwarded so many emails from people that bought these things for the holidays. Best gift my wife ever got. My wife tells everybody about it. My wife shows it to everybody. Love it. It's a Valentine's Day gift you need to get. MyFrontPageStory.com. My front page story. Oh, Vancouver 10. I got you guys 10% off. Not you, Rick. Donnie, I got you 10% off. Vancouver 10. Rick, you pay full price.
Of course.
Vancouver 10 at MyFrontPageStory.com.
I saw that coming a mile away.
Great advice. Great advice, Ross. I'll give you an extra point for that or a convert. Thanks for this. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. See you, dudes.